Making room in a crowded tight end room. Look, um, the first thing about that is that they're going to have to make room. This is up to Arthur Smith. Now I know there's a lot of people that are get down on Arthur Smith. Okay, I'm not going to fight you. There's no reason to fight you. The season hasn't started, and we didn't see great stuff last year. So it is what it is. But at some point, as Steeler fans, we have to turn the page and talking about last year and start talking about this year on what can happen. Now, if it doesn't happen, then let's blast them. By all means, we'll call them out. But at some point, it can't always just be, well, he sucked last year. He didn't do this. He was terrible in Atlanta, yada, yada, yada. Okay, this is 2025. Let's give him an opportunity. If he doesn't do it, we'll call it out. It is what it is. But don't be the fan that's that's so jaded. And I get being jaded because our offenses over the last 5 years have just been horrific. And so I get it. But there's an opportunity here. Jonnu Smith coming over as a pass catcher, and they all bring a different skill set. But Jonnu said about playing with Pat Freiermuth, he says, I'm excited to play with Pat. He said, when I first got the news, he reached out to me as soon as possible. It was a good feeling. He's a younger guy to me, and there's some things I'll be able to pass on to him, and I'm excited as well. Yeah, that's what you want. Jonnu Smith's got an opportunity here. He was on a sinking ship with the Dolphins. Everybody knows it. He wanted out. They didn't want to pay him. We have room. He's familiar with the offense. Arthur Smith likes these guys, his guys, and Jonnu Smith is one of his guys. Pat Freiermuth on the addition, he says, I think he brings a different skill set than I do. And I believe the same thing. Said, I think we're going to complement each other really well. Said he's going to complement the whole tight end room really well. And I'm excited about the possibilities of 12 personnel. Arthur Smith sat down with me and showed me what he was thinking. So I'm really excited. See, there you go. Arthur Smith likes what he can do. Sat down Freiermuth and said, hey, this is what I'm wanting to do. This is what it's going to look like 12 personnel. The Steelers led the league in 13 personnel last year. Now, the difference is they weren't very good in 13 personnel. I think part of that was they didn't run the ball great because the line wasn't great. And then pass catching, I mean, you either had Darnell Washington, Freiermuth, obviously, and then you had Michael Pruitt or you had Connor Hayward out there. Well, that's not great as far as passing the football. But now you go 13 personnel. You got Freiermuth, Jonnu Smith, and Darnell Washington. That kind of changes things a little bit. That mixes things up. Now, when we run the ball, obviously, those guys are going to have to be better blockers because Jonnu's not great. Pat's not great. Darnell is. But I feel like they're all going to be able to make their mark. 12 personnel, I think Steelers are going to lead the league in 12 personnel. I think they're going to be really good in it because you can split one of those guys out. You can do a lot of different things. I don't want to get into every single formation that the Steelers are going to be able to use. It's just a lot of packages. And when you have guys that can play, and that's the difference. I know there was a ton of us, myself included, wanted to see what Darnell Washington can do. But I'm the type, and I think most of you are the same way. I'm not willing to sacrifice the offense being a better offense just say, hey, let's give Darnell Washington an opportunity. If the Steelers can average 27 points a game with Darnell Washington getting 15 to 20 catches a year and the other two tight ends getting 50 plus, and we're win 12 games, you'll take it. I'll take it. I think anybody will take it. I know he washed to get his opportunity, but the way the league is now, you got to be a good route runner as a tight end. You got to be dynamic. And he's just not. It's okay. I'm not saying he doesn't serve a purpose, but he's not the the dynamic route runner that you have to be to excel at tight end. He definitely has a purpose, and I'm glad he's on our football team. But I love the addition of Jonnu Smith. That's just going to up so much more, even in the passing game to wide receivers. It's just going to open up so much more. 12 personnel, kind of like what Baltimore does. Baltimore runs a ton of 12 personnel because they got two tight ends that can, and David likely not no great blocker either. So if you're talking about Jonnu Smith's not a great blocker, well, likely isn't either. Okay. So it's possible. It's very possible. And they run the ball just fine in Baltimore the last time I checked. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm excited about it. But, both of them are coming off career years, Pat and Jonnu. 65 catches for Pat Freiermuth, 88 catches for Jonnu, but they bring something different to the table. Like I said, Jonnu is a pure pass catcher. He can split out. He can run a lot of different routes out there. He is a pure pass catcher. Where Freiermuth is more of your traditional tight end, line him up in line or close to in line. He can split out too, but he's more of your pure tight end. Where Washington is your old school tight end. Big, physical, an extension of your offensive line, just going to get after you and get nasty. And every now and then, when you're not paying attention, he'll sneak out and you can throw him the football, and then the guy can run because he's super athletic to be that big. It's insane how athletic Mount Washington is to be that big. It's absolutely insane. So I'm excited about what these guys are going to be able to do in this type of setting. Let's go to the poll question. So on the poll, number 3, how do you feel about the potential impact of the tight end duo on the Steelers' overall offense? A, very excited. It'll be game changer. B, somewhat optimistic. Should improve the offense. C, unsure. Need to see how they perform together. Or D, not optimistic. It won't make a difference. That's tough to say it won't make a difference. I'll be honest with you. That's tough to say that it's not going to make a difference. I think it's absolutely going to make a difference for what the Steelers are doing. Again, it's up to Arthur Smith. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's definitely up to him to make a difference. But I think he's got his hands full, but I would rather him have too much than not enough. So let's move on.